Shalom. Call all you have about Shem. Shalom to the left. I'm gonna try to get through this video real quick. I've seen some stuff pop up recently. It says, let me go to it real quick. It says leaked video stuns U.S. over Chinese supersonic nuclear weapon capability. It's no coincidence that they talking about all this stuff right now. As I mentioned in these other videos, those nukes are those arrows that the scripture's talking about. But I'm gonna read something out of the book of Psalms, and I'll let this video play and get into a few more precepts. That's in the book of Psalms, chapter 60, and verse. Let's see. I'm gonna just start on verse 1 and just read on down because this is short little chapter. It said to the chief musician upon Shushan, this time of David, to teach when he strove with Raim, and with Aram Zubah, when Joab returned and smote of Edom in the valley of Salt 12,000. O Yahweh, thou hast cast us off, thou hast scattered us, thou hast been displeased. O turn thyself to us again. And that's why we do these lessons, that's why we call out to him, that's why we inquire, send the prayers up, so on and so on. Just reading this again. Joab returned and smote of Edom in the valley of Salt 12,000 men. Joab, just one man there. He had our men that was mighty like that. You see, when Most High got displeased with us, he allowed these Edomites and these other heathens to actually be over us, to tread us down. That's how pissed off the Most High was with us. But now things are turning, and more things are working out in certain men's favor, so to speak, and they're just going to continue to grow. As long as these ways, these precepts are actually applied to our lives. In the second verse, it says, thou hast made the earth to tremble, thou hast broken it, you are the breaches thereof for a shaking. Thou hast showed thy people hard things, thou hast made us to drink the wine of astonishment. Thou hast given a banner to them that fear thee, that it may be displayed because of the truth. Salah, that thy beloved may be delivered. Say with the right hand and hear me. Yahweh has spoken in his holiness. I will rejoice. I will divide Shittim and meet out of the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine, Manasseh is mine. Ephraim also is the strength of my head. Judah is my lawgiver. Moab is my washpot over Edom. Will I cast out my shoe? Philistia triumphant, thou because of me. Who will bring me into the strong city? Who will lead me to Edom? Will not thou, O Yahweh, which hadst cast us off? And thou, O Yahweh, which didst not go out with our armies, give us help from trouble, for vain is the help of men. Through Yahweh we should do valiantly, for he it is that should tread down our enemies. So you see this actually going on right now. He actually putting the spirit in our enemies, because once again we're not equal. You have people still stuck on that weak mind frame, but they always claim to believe in the Bible and the scriptures as well, but they don't understand who's who when you hear about Edom, or you hear about Moab, or you hear about Ephraim, or you hear about Manasseh, or you hear about Judah. You have to know who these people are, who these tribes are, who are the descendants of those tribes. Why do the Most High favor these people over those people? Like the scripture say, he made vessels for honor and vessels for dishonor. But yeah, let me get that real quick before I even go into this other video. I want to pull it since it popped in my mind. In the book of 2 Timothy, and you can't get around this, man. A lot of people like to be emotional. Stop fucking being emotional. Just use some logic and some reason. It's clear as day to see how talented and how gifted our people are, how strong we are, even through adversity. People still come out on top and triumph. Now, 2 Timothy chapter 2, let me see, in verse 20 says, but in the great house there are not only vessels of gold and silver, but also of wood and of earth, There's some to honor, and some to dishonor. Just like how you have in your house, you have some shit, that shit break, you don't give a fuck about that shit. You throw it away and go get another one. Then you got some stuff you're gonna take care of, you're gonna polish it, you're gonna make sure it's good, you're gonna make sure don't nobody just touch it and fuck with it, none of that. Now it says, if a man therefore purge himself from these, he should be a vessel unto honor, sanctified and meet for the master's use, and prepared unto every good work. Flee also youthful lust, but follow righteousness, faith, charity, peace with them that call on the Lord out of a pure heart. But foolish and unlearned questions avoid, knowing that they do gender strifes. Because there's certain stuff, like people actually, especially knowing what you into, ask you dumb, stupid, foolish stuff. Now, some stuff you can answer, but if it's just continue on, just avoid it. Don't even waste your time, man, because you already know what's up. You know the truth. You know the information that you pray for. You know, fact-checked everything, so why waste your time? I said, and the servant of the Lord must not strive, but be gentle unto all men, apt to teach, patient, and meekness, instructing those that oppose themselves. That your high peradventure will give them repentance to the acknowledging of the truth, and that they may recover themselves out of the snare of the devil, who are taken captive by him at his will. So, but once again, you have vessels of honor, you have vessels for dishonor. Now, what you gonna be, a vessel for honor or dishonor? Because certain vessels are the most I don't really care about like that. And you can see that on the earth. Let me go to this video in a minute, but
a strategic game changer. That is how the United States is looking at the recent news that China conducted 2 hypersonic weapons tests this past summer. But China was actually not the first ones to have this technology. We're going to give you the details as to this next generation weapons race and ask, why does the United States keep failing to even get on the train? The next Saudi intelligence officer is claiming his children are being used as blackmail for his return, and is breaking his silence, begging for his children to be released from Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. We're going to bring you the details on this very complex story. And the United States desperately needs cargo ships to be unloaded. But now there's this new problem emerging as empty ships containers are actually being dumped in nearby port neighborhoods. We will bring you an on-the-ground report.
hey, this is just the precursor of Babylon falling, man. Babylon is fucking falling. You know shit bad when they can't even ship the goods throughout the country how they supposed to. They said it was what? 20-something billion? Let me see. Where that video at? I had it queued up. I'll forget about it. I'll try to go back to it. They said it was like $22 billion worth of goods that didn't make it to the ports. That's just sitting out on the ships. And if and when they actually do allow it to come to the ports, it's going to be tainted anyway. Because that stuff have a shelf life, so to speak. Expiration dates. So either way it go, man, this place done.
As to the problem and what the neighbors are doing to try and stop it. And masks are still mandated in most major cities in the United States, as well as avenues of transportation with stiff, long-term penalties for those who do not oblige. But why does it seem like the only ones that are not obeying the rules are those who are actually making them? We will have a lively discussion on the ongoing hypocrisy which many politicians are displaying and why some are receiving punishment over others. I'm Skynell Hughes, and we're going to give you the 360 view of these stories.
That's Esau for you. Let me get that. I wasn't even going to pull these precepts out. Yeah. It just popped in my mind. Speak with a forked tongue. See which one I want to get out of the book of Psalms. There's a few of them. Let me see. It's in the book of Psalms, chapter 57, verse 4. It says, "My soul is among lions, and I lie, even among them that are set on fire. Even the sons of men, whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue a sharp sword." Let me see. It's another number again. Book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 22, it says, "His speech is smoother than butter, but war is in his heart. His words are softer than oil, yet they are swords unsheathed." And hey, that's how they be with these laws. That's how they be with talking about peace and bringing all this stuff together in these different nations the whole time. They're gearing up for war right now. This is the time when the wartime. Let's see what else. This is another one I want to get. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 52, and verse 2. It says, "Thy tongue devises a mischief, like a sharp razor working deceitfully." And this real deceitful, because they telling everybody to run around and wear this shit. The whole time they ain't wearing the same thing. They run around going to resorts and hiding out and having fun.
On today's News Views Hughes, right here on RT America.
Let me skip past this. It's another, I'll get to it. Way on my spirit enough, I'll make a video about this depression stuff, because that's why the scripture says knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of that time. You got people depressed, they bugged out, people killing themselves and all that, because they ain't seeking Yahweh Hashem Yahshua. So they're giving them over to their own devices.
Thank you for joining us. You know, China is actually denying the report that over the summer they successfully tested twice a hypersonic glide vehicle capable of actually carrying a nuclear weapon. Instead, they're saying the tests were just a routine spacecraft experiment. In response, however, the Biden administration said they were very concerned about the latest development in China's nuclear arms capability, and the missile test actually stunned American intelligence and military officials. But China was actually not the first to successfully test, as Russia had recently tested and launched a Zircon hypersonic cruise missile for the first time from a submarine, and it is undetectable by radar. Now, the Zircon already joined...
Hey, this just brings me to this precept right here. Let me go to it. See, that shit undetectable by radar. So they let this shit go, man. They ain't gonna be able to see it. They ain't gonna know where the fuck that shit coming from. Shit's just gonna go down. Let me go to this real quick. It's the book of 2 Peter. And you see what's going up now. The scripture said the arrows will not return. They ain't finna return. Once they go up, they can't hit no button to be like, you know what? Let me land this shit up. Turn it back around. That's it. Once it's up in there. No, it's the book of 2 Peter. Chapter 3 and verse 10 says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night." Look what time they doing this stuff. At night. And the radars can't even detect it. It says, "In which the heavens will pass away with a roar." When these go up, they make that roar. I'm surprised they ain't really get the actual. Let me see if they get it.
It is undetectable by radar.
They ain't really got the volume on there, but I'm sure if I go search for some other videos, they got it on there. It says, "The heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat." So the one thing that makes something melt with fervent heat on this earth. It says, "The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up." And they keep talking about this in the news, man. If you mention this to most people, man, they don't be talking about this. They're not even concerned with this stuff, man. That's why the Most High got to elect, because see the elect, and I don't want to write this out of that number. Was one of them of that number. The elect is more concerned with what's coming and how to get out of this shit. Because all the other stuff for real, it's just vanity. They ain't nothing but vanity, man. Escaping this and being on the good side of the Most High, this would really matter.
Radar. Now, the Zircon already joins the Kinzhal, which is a Russian hypersonic weapon which can reach speeds of up to Mach 27 if boosted by a rocket. So where does the United States stand? Well, according to the Pentagon, the latest test held just this week failed when the rocket used to reach the hypersonic speed could not proceed, thus not allowing the hypersonic glide body, which was alike to the Chinese model, even to get off the ground.
Damn.
So how important is this latest phase of the race for military technology? Let's bring in retired combat veteran Rob Minnis and John Sidolides, geopolitical strategist at Trilogy.
I see the Most High, he cold, man. Yeah, you gotta sit up, man. That's what the scripture said. People are like, God is good, God is good. Let's go book of Psalms. Let's see what the book of Psalms says about him. Let's see what the book of Psalms says. Because he is good. He's a balanced power. Book of Psalms, chapter 47, verse 2. It said, for the Lord, Yahweh, the Most High, is terrible. He is a great king over all the earth. Now, why would he be so terrible? Because if you understand these precepts and these scriptures, when it says that he created the smith to blow off the coals, he created these scientists to engineer these type of rockets. Let me go back to the video. And this shit flying at 27 Mach speed, not no damn 5. That's a whole nother level. Let me go back to it where it's at. Listen to what she say, man. See, you have to understand that the Most High created them just to do this, just so in this time frame they can use this against each other.
Russia had recently tested and launched a Zircon hypersonic cruise missile for the first time from a submarine, and it is undetectable by radar.
Undetectable by radar.
Now, the Zircon already joins the Kinzhal, which is a Russian hypersonic weapon which can reach speeds of up to Mach 27 if boosted by a rocket.
That's real high-level shit, man. But the Most High did what? Let's go to this. I already brought it out in the previous video. I'll bring it out again. Book of Isaiah, chapter 54. Verse 16 says, behold, I created the smith that blows the coals in the fire.